Hi guys, my name is Tosin and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to my sewing series. So in this video, we're going to be changing this baggy jeans into a long maxi skirt. So the first thing I did was to cut the pants and to figure out how I was going to sew everything together. So I decided to cut right in between the lines that connect both sides of the pants together instead of just messing it up and just cutting in a way that would kind of destroy the whole style. After doing that, I was just trying to figure out how I'd want the pants to lay when I do sew it together to create the skirt. So this was where I started guesstimating and trying to figure out what works best. And the first thing I did was to draw a line to figure out how much I needed to cut off of the crotch area. Realizing that I need to cut off more, I decided to draw another line just to do the same thing over again. And I just kept this part in the video just to show the process because at the end of the day, I actually ended up sewing again. So this was just to show my thought process. So after sewing on the line, I put on the pants just to gauge where I'm at. And I realized that there was a little bit of bulging at the back of the skirt. So I went back and sewed again. And this was the end product. As you can see, I sewed multiple times just to figure out what was best. And I realized that sewing closer to the waistband was what works best. And I just followed the line of the previous stitch just to finish off my new stitch. And I went through the same process for the zipper area of the skirt. And I decided that sewing as close as possible to the bottom of the zipper was what looked best to me. So when it came to adjusting the waistband to my size, I decided to draw 2 dots at the back of the pants. And I had to take off 9 inches off of the waistband. And 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, which was what I was measuring here. And I tried to make sure that the center point of the dot aligns with the middle of the pocket. So my plan was to have 2 darts. One would be 4.5, the other would be 4.5. Make it 9 inches. So my plan was to draw the dot from the beginning of the waistband to the line on top of the pocket. And sewing this on the machine was not easy. I would not even advise you to sew this jeans on the machine. I ended up using the hand wheel because that was the only way I was able to get through. Because if I just sewed the regular way, my needle would have broke and messed up my machine. After sewing the dots, I realized that I did not want to break my needle, so I did not even finish off the top part. And my plan was to use needle and thread to go through it and just do everything over again with needle and thread. So after using the needle and thread, I realized that I did not like the way the jeans looked. It looked very bulky at the back. And I decided to go the best route possible instead of trying to do it the easiest way. So after multiple trial and error, I decided to use Kiana Bonolo's taken in the waist of your jeans method that I saw she created a while ago. And that was what I did to fix the waist of the jeans. So the first thing I did was to use my seam ripper to get rid of the thread on the waistband of the jeans. And in this method, you will have to hold in the amount that you need to hold in on the pants itself, the top part of the jeans, and also on the waistband of the jeans. So I'm just measuring 9 inches that I have to take in on the waistband. And after that, I ended up drawing 2 dots on the top of the jeans so that I can also be able to take that part in too. So right here, I'm just showing the layers of the jeans so I can know where to actually sew on. And these are my 2 dots that I drew. They don't look perfect, honestly. Drawing on jeans is not the easiest thing to do. So half of my dot was 2.25, and 2.25 times 2 made 1 dot, which gave me my 4.5, and I drew 4.5 on both sides. And right here, I'm just marking the 4.5 line that I made on one part of the waistband to the other part of the waistband, which basically made it 9 inches. So right now I'm just showing where I will be sewing on the waistband. I flipped the waistband inside out, and after sewing it, this is how it should look. I cut off the extra part just to make sure that it's not bulky when I flip everything back the regular way. And in this clip right here, I am sewing my dot. And I would say opening the jeans made everything easier. It made everything flat, and I was able to actually sew on the jeans without using my hand wheel. And like I said, I cut the extra part of the waistband just to make it as flat as possible. And I'm just showing you right now how flat it looks. Before doing that, it was very bulky. After sewing my dot and sewing my waistband, I decided to put everything back together. I pinned them down just to see how it would look, and it actually started looking good. I also took out some extra belt loops that I did not need. And this is the final product. I ironed down the back part because it made it look a little bit weird. And after ironing it, it looked flat, as you can see. Overall, I'm satisfied with the result. It could have been done faster, but my machine kept on acting up. But overall, I'm satisfied with this. And I will say that I did have a lot to take in from the jeans. I feel like if I didn't have as much to take in, the results will be flawless. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you, and stay blessed.